Doesn't matter where you're standing, eventually everything will be in your viewing well.
It looks like everybody's down here. Thank you, Brandon.
We got a few more seconds before... What's that?
You wouldn't do that, would you?
Huh? Not on purpose? You wouldn't believe how many times a day we go down there. For hats, glasses, cameras, kids. Not too many kids. We've never been down there for any kids. The most important thing I've ever retrieved from down there was a pacifier. Okay? A pacifier goes down there, this tour comes to a screeching halt. We go down and get it, clean it up, get it back to its rightful owner as soon as possible. That's right. You want to sneak in here, bud? Huh? We're just about there. We got a little ways to go yet. This thing's 135 feet long, 26 feet wide, fully intact, sitting on a bottom length pier. One of the most popular dive sites in the area, even snorkeling sites, as evidenced by the rental pontoon that was here today. And once you see it, you're going to understand why. It has huge openings. It sits in relatively shallow water. This is considered a very, very safe dive. And we are just about there. Can you see it out there? Huh? You can see it, can't you? Those of you upstairs can probably see it. And we ask you to keep your numbers even. Don't everybody rush to the same side of the boat at the same time. We do not want to become the next attraction. I'm not kidding. You can see it. I wouldn't lie to you people. Here it comes right here. The stern rail, oh my gosh, is right. This is an awesome sight. Looks like you can reach out and touch it. That is 5 feet down right there. 5 feet down. Now, as we drift, out in front of that is going to be the rudder post, a metal steering mechanism used to guide the ship. Oh my gosh, is right. Broken side rail back there, 55-foot piece, broken off by divers back in the 60s. Prior to 1980, divers would tie off right to this shipwreck on a windy day. They snapped that side rail. Small hatch right there, got you down to the bottom of the vessel. Halfway down, you entered the cabin area. That's the huge opening we're going over right now. See the large beams down there in the dark water? Cabin floor rested right on those beams. Recessed into the hull of this ship by about 4 feet. Ship went down, pressure was so great that cabin popped and 3 crew members were lost. Now I mentioned a 55-foot piece broken off by divers back in the 60s. Prior to 1980, they would tie off right to this shipwreck. 1980, the Alger Underwater Preserve was established to protect all shipwrecks and anything of historical value within 1 mile of the Alger County shoreline. Divers no longer tie off to the wreck. They tie off to that white mooring buoy out front. They no longer deface these ships or take souvenirs. Their motto today, we take only pictures, we leave only bubbles. The aft or the rear cargo hatch was right there. Gravel-like substance you see on the deck of the ship is remains of the salvage operation. Approaching the midship area, it drops down. It's about 12 to 15 feet below the viewing wells here. Ship is actually bow-shaped. Bow and stern come to within 5. Midship area down about 12 to 15. This is where the salvage company dropped a log boom through the deck of the ship so the hard hat divers could go down and get the high-grade iron ore. Now those are the guys with the great big brass helmet, the leather suit, air hose running up to the surface, and hopefully his best buddy up there pumping up fresh air because he'd spent hours down there loading chunks of iron ore into huge buckets and then they would hoist it up. You can see a rectangular shape right here. That's a centerboard hatch. The trunk is built right into the hull of the ship. All of these ships equipped with raisable centerboards, 40 feet long, 8 feet tall. And they would raise them right up into the hull of the ship, going through the shallow waters or canal systems, drop them back down in open waters. It would help navigate the ship, keep it running straight. The log boom that was dropped through the deck of the ship lays right there. Drifting a little bit farther, we have the front or forward cargo hatch. Now local farmers would show up at the docks when these ships pulled in. They were always trying to make a few extra bucks to help feed the wife and kids. They used shovels, buckets, and wheelbarrows to load these vessels. Spent the better part of a week doing that, 4 to 5 days. Their compensation? $1 a day is what they were paid, $1 a day. Then you're going to see 2 holes in the deck of the ship. First one is the bilge pump hole. That is 12 inches in diameter, and from that location they would manually pump water from the hull of the ship anytime she took on water from rough seas or heavy rainstorms. The second one, the larger one, is the foremast hole. It is 3 feet in diameter. The mast that stood from that hole, 110 feet tall, made out of a white pine. Now as we drift towards the front of the ship, you can notice it getting closer to us. The next thing we're going to look at is the companionway and chain locker. Storage for anchor chains and dock lines, sleeping quarters for 2 crew members. There are going to be a couple of small hawseye rings to the side here. Anchor chains came out those rings. Anchors were stored right on the deck of this ship. Then you're going to see a huge beam called the tow post. They would tie lines around that, run them to shore, hook to a team of horses or oxen. That team would pull this ship through the canal system to get around Niagara Falls, about a 30-mile journey. Broken side rail over there, also broken on this side, believed to have been done by the salvage company when they towed this ship over here. They would have wrapped huge chains and straps around that tow post to get it here. Then you have the bow of the ship with the metal strapping right up over the front. Stands 20 feet tall right there, 20 feet tall. And this is the area those guys were diving in. Probably the tow post, the bow there. Pretty awesome sight, huh? Okay, group 1, if you want to make your way back to your seats.
Great.